Well, hey, how y'all doing out there today? Yeah, look at the title. I got a serious question I'm fixing to ask some folks. You damn straight, 'cause I've been wanting an answer to this probably since I was a little guy, a very young boy. So I'm going to remind y'all first about one thing. I was raised dirt poor in an area that was mostly black and Cherokee, the outskirts of Waverly Hall, which was a little country town in between Waverly Hall and Ellerslie, which were two towns that probably had less than 1,000 people each of white people. And I lived in a place called Osahatchee Creek that had an old bunch of barracks that the military gave some black folks, and they called it Little Vietnam. And then right near that was an area that some Cherokee lived on, bunch of Cherokee lived on. They owned the land; it wasn't a reservation. And this was in Harris County, Georgia. All right, so I got a reason. I'm going to answer my own question for you, but and tell you my reason why I think that y'all worship Jesus. But let me tell you this little story first. When I was a little guy, I got invited to this black church one time, and right down there by Little Vietnam, and old building. It was well kept, but it was very old and typical of what you see in the South. White wooden building with the big windows, and everybody had the little fans. They'd be keeping cool with little fans. They had no electricity or nothing. Big booming voice preacher man that was real nice, but scared the hell out of you. Boy, he scared the hell out of you. And behind the pastor was the baptismal, where you got baptized, and theirs basically was just a little pool, almost like a tub, and they did a little bit different. Sometimes they go out to the creek when it was warm weather, and since we had warm weather 8 months out of the year, they hardly ever used that little baptismal. But then the choir was back there, and then they had this big picture of that blue-eyed Jesus that we're all used to seeing, the one with Jesus looking up at God so reverent, not a hair out of place, blue eyes, white skin, beard just as trim as could be. Beautiful picture, by the way. I've always loved that picture. I grew up looking at it, thinking that was the Jesus that loved the little children. And I didn't feel too loved as a child, so I related to that. I related to Jesus loving the little children. So I'm in this black church, though, as I'm telling my story. And the preacher's going on, and I'm the only white person in there, by the way. And this is 1969, so I'm real young, and where he never condemned white people, he just talked about the white devil and the white devil this and the white devil that, and the Jesus behind him was going to save him. And I'm like, wow. Well, first I was trying to figure out, because see, I was told in the Baptist church, the white Baptist church, that the devil was a red guy with horns running around. So I'm trying to figure out the white devil. And who the hell is the white devil? So when I come back home, matter of fact, it was about a week later, I was with my grandma, and so I asked her, I said, Grandma, what's the white devil? She said, well, the white devil is what black folks call them men that treat them bad. And I said, okay, so are they a devil? I mean, are they from hell? And she said, no, they're human beings, but they act stupid, and they're mean to people because of their color. And so I couldn't understand this, so I get back out to the country. Same thing. When I get back out to the country, I had a better understanding of what white devil meant. That I wasn't a white devil. Matter of fact, at that point in time, I was a boy. I was a little boy, little country boy, feral child is all I was. I didn't see none of this stuff y'all saw, because I lived in a diverse group of people. Well, the same thing with the Cherokee. They were telling me about Wankantaka. Jesus walked around America, and but the same thing with them. Um, the fork-tongued white man, the white devil, basically. And so as I grew older, as all of us do, this part of my life became very clear through looking at history. From the time white settlers came here, they looked at the Native Americans as heathens. They did everything in their power to kill 20 million or more Native Americans. When they brought the black man here through slavery, through the slave trade that came in through the north from the British, they were considered heathens, subhuman, just as the Native Americans. If you wasn't white back in the 16 and 1700s, 1800s, You were subhuman. You were almost human. You're like that Darwin bullshit evolution. But as I grew up, I always wondered why the black churches and the Indian churches really focus so hard on Christianity when, as I learned their own history, the history that I feel y'all should know about your own people or your origins of your part of humanity, of your part of mankind. Um, the Christians never liked you. They never accepted you. And I'm not being mean here. I'm telling you true history. Were not the Native Americans called heathens? Are they not even considered heathens to this day? The American government has done nothing but kill the Native Americans and the black man and kept them down with the Civil Rights Act and keep them down today as a minority and on welfare and try to keep them from knowing anything about his history or his past. Yet I see black people and Native American people under American flag. I've seen where the Native Americans out west dancing, doing their rain dance, and basically, as I hate to say it, sometimes they're just getting money up or they're doing a show. They're doing a show. People come there to be entertained by Indians, and they're doing their show, but they got the American flag up. Some of them stand up for it like it's the best thing in the world. Yet this is the government that killed you. They say they believe in Wankantaka, which is Jesus walking to America. Yet the Christian faith did nothing but kill them and kill the black man. I don't understand that when y'all have great histories and great cultures. I didn't grow up believing in angels. I grew up believing in the Nahunai, the spirit people that walk the Appalachian Trail, and they take lost travelers. And this makes me want to cry because I felt these beings. I've seen these beings myself. And I'm white. I don't have the Christian indoctrination like most. I got it, but I couldn't see any truth in it. Every question that ever came out of my mouth to a preacher that made any sense, like why haven't they ever found a body of Christ? Why haven't they ever? When we can find Egyptians, we can find mummies, we can find all these bodies in history, but we can't find out one of the apostles. We can't find not a one character out of the Bible, Old Testament to New Testament. Can we even find the remains of or a grave of? You ever stop and think about that? Not a one physical proof, but we can get an 8,000-year-old mummy, a 10,000-year-old mummy from a king that lived at a particular time. Roman emperors. Go way back. They can find bodies in the remains of all kind of people in history, but not one person. Name one character. If you don't believe me, look it up. Find one name in the Bible where they find the remains of any of them. But these were famous people in their time, religious leaders of their time, heretics or rebellious people of their time, like Jesus. You would think these would be popular marked graves. Okay, so whatever. I implore you to do that with the Jewish faith, the Hebrew faith, or the Muslim faith. I don't have any of y'all's prophets or people from your Bibles, from your Torah, from your Quran. None of these characters have they ever found the remains of. Oh yeah, with Christianity you got the Shroud of Turin, but wow, okay, sure does look like that blue-eyed Jesus in that picture too, don't you? All right, so besides all that, and yes, Felicia, I think we've all been brainwashed, and that's my point. The one main issue I have with black folks and Native American folks is you forgot your power, is that you forgot your history. And it takes a white brother to come out here and tell you often, and I do, don't you? First, I tell you, I love you and you're my brother and you're my sister. And then I tell you, step up, stand up, find your power because it's inside of you. But it's very powerful cultures that you come from. Now, think about this for a minute. Could Christianity spread if there was a more powerful religion out there? Could the U.S. government control people if there were people out there that came from free areas and lived free lives naturally? Could the corporations sell us every little plastic and aluminum trinket they could sell us if they were told about natural ways we used to live, like hemp products and whatnot? You get it now? They stole your history. They stole your culture. They stole your spiritual beliefs because they're more powerful than theirs. They're more powerful than what we run by in America. You keep America, okay, y'all? I ain't gonna go worldwide. Let's just stay in America. The way the Native American believe, the way the black folks believe is more powerful than Christianity. The way they lived was more pure than what the corporations offer us today. Their society got along better, and yes, Native Americans got a dark side, and the black man's got a dark side. Everybody's got a dark side on how we treat our own people. But their way of coexisting with the earth was better. Everything was better than American society, American religion, and American political government. So they don't want nobody to know that. So now you know. Because now, you know what? A lot of you going to stop, ain't you? You're going to stop and say, that Bill's full of shit this time. Bill done fell off and bumped his head. That's why he's been gone. He bumped his head, and he ain't thinking right. No, Bill is waking you up. Your brother is telling all of you why. Now, listen, in saying this, in saying all of this, I'm going to be very real about something. I try to live by the philosophy of Jesus Christ. I try to be Christ-like. Because you know what Christ-like is? That's when you love your brother unconditionally. That's when you try to heal others naturally. That's when you stand up against governments and religious leaders that are liars. That's when you stand up against liars and you defend those around you. You denounce evil and even send it into swine. I love the philosophy of Jesus Christ. I love it with all my heart. I think if every human being was Christ-like, we wouldn't have any problems. I don't think we have any problems at all. Because that's what the philosophy of Christ stood for. Defense, self-governing, self-leading, thinking for yourself, taking care of your brother, being there for your sister when she's down, feeding people, helping others. That part of it's great. But what was it twisted into? Control, wars, infanticide, murder. So, I mean, things get twisted by this super rich elite new world order that think they run us, y'all. But now, black folks, especially black folks and the Native American folks, they stole your power. And now you got centuries, a couple centuries where they brainwashed you. They brainwashed you. They're taking it all out. Do you know there used to be super cities up in Wisconsin and in the Michigan areas, all through the Midwest? There were these super cities that the Native Americans had built. What you see on TV in the Westerns and all, with the Indian wearing the loincloth and riding a horse, that's the post-apocalyptic Indian. There was an apocalypse of the Indian before the Europeans got here. And it wiped out many, many civilized tribes. Very highly advanced tribes, just as advanced as the Mayans, just as advanced as the Egyptians. They had built great cities that had stores and sports arenas and running water and everything. They built these cities out of wood and mortar. Well, how do you think the Great Plains got there? They took all the trees, y'all. And a lot of people want to disagree with that, but that's what happened. You can't build a city without materials. Thus showing that we can always overpopulate. Even as a natural being, we can overpopulate. So we got to pay attention to that. I think that is a major. You can only consume what's able to be consumed. If you can't replenish it, then you're killing. You're killing the planet if you can't replenish what you take. But yeah. So I hope you wake up today. I hope you go research your little asses off. I hope you go read every article, look at every part of history that you can look at. You had better cultures. You had a better spiritual belief system that was actually based on spiritualism and not faith. And you had a better governing system. You had healthier people. And there you go. They don't want that here. They don't want that in America. And you know what? The white people out there, you've been brainwashed too. Because you actually believe that this government's out there to do something and defend us and defend our nation. You believe in nations. You believe in borders. You believe in walls. You believe in protection. Oh, I got to be protected. Why aren't you defending? Because that's what Jesus Christ did. Jesus Christ was defending people. So why aren't you defending people instead of begging for protection? That's what bothers me. And that's not for all white people out there. I'm not trying to pick a side on this. Like I said, I got no color. Y'all live in that hell. Y'all live in that hell right there. I don't live in the hell of race relations because I don't see race. I see the human race, and every single one of you ought to know that by now. And maybe should be taking that into consideration into your own lives. But I think a black man should be looking back at his history and his culture all throughout Mesopotamia, all out Samaria. The beginning of civilization was created by black people. And the Native Americans. Please quit doing your shows under an American flag by your casino. This is killing you. This stole who you were. You wasn't some ragtag, loincloth wearing, bow carrying man on the back of a horse running around screaming. No, you were a very proud, intelligent group of a race of people. You can't change history. They can lie about it. They can twist it. They can make it sound good. His story. There's a difference between history and his story. And some of y'all need to realize that. If it comes from federal government school books, it's to fit the federal government's agenda. Think about that. But there's writings out there. There's articles. There's theses. There's very many forms of information about the history of this earth, of all mankind's history. That's why they hide it from you, because they're constantly tweaking and evolving a better slave. And we're all slaves. As Russell Means, Native American out west, I'm not sure if y'all are familiar with him, but Russell Means did a piece called Welcome to the Reservation. He was saying this to the white man. He wasn't saying it to his brothers, just like Dr. King spoke to all free men. So y'all need to think about some things out there. Why would they steal a culture if it was lesser than our culture? Why would they steal religious beliefs if they were lesser than their religious beliefs? Why would they condemn other political governments or ways of governing bodies if it wasn't lesser, if it was lesser than what we got now? See, what we got now is what's lesser. So all of us have been robbed because of diversity in the groups of people around the world and the different cultures around the world all together is a beautiful thing. Because if you take away the three main religions, what do you got? Nobody's fighting over nothing else. No, just these three ones. Who's right? Who's the top dog today? Who has the biggest army to make sure that you believe as we believe, or we'll kill you and crush your baby's skulls? That's what the Jesuit says. Think about that. Anything that says join or die is a lie. Anything that says join or die is a lie. Don't do it. Don't believe the lies. Look at the truth. And I don't care how ugly it is, and I don't care how many of them get on here and fuss with me. You can fuss with me till you blue in the face. I don't believe what I believe. I live what I know. I know that there are things out there on this earth that many of you can't see because you're not even in connection with your pineal gland, your spirit gland, your connection to your brother, to the earth, to the other species on this planet. And until you get in connection with that, you can't see past your faith. Because faith is another way of saying just believe what I say, or else you'll burn in hell. That's faith. Believe or die. Join or die. Are you going to join or die? Or are you going to be you? You're going to be the only thing in the world that you can be. So you can't be a Christian. You can't be a Muslim. You can't be a Jewish. You can't be a Hindu. You can only be you. But they got all these things out there for you, these little boxes they want you to jump in so you can be something besides who you are. You're a black man or black woman. Be fucking proud. Stand up on your feet. Quit blaming for what happened in the past and do something about today, because you created civilization You can create it again. Think about that. Think about that. But now, I'm not blaming none of y'all, and I'm not getting on to you. What I'm trying to tell you is we've all, every one of us, have been brainwashed and lied to. Even the lies got lies. And it's hard to look through. That's why you got to stop and get in contact with your own spirituality, your own self. You talk to your creator, not through a middleman, not through a prophet, not through anybody. You connect in that way. And if you're atheist and you don't believe in none of it, then you get in touch with your consciousness, who you are as a man. Read some Friedrich Nietzsche if you're an atheist. Friedrich Nietzsche, read it. Great philosophies on man empowering mankind and being a man, being an individual, being a self-leader. Because see, they took away your own self-leadership. Aren't you mad about that? I mean, it's bad enough they stole your culture. It's bad enough they stole your spirituality. It's bad enough that they stole your society. It's bad enough they stole your family and poison and murder your children. But they stole who you are. You won't even be yourself because you're so confused about who to be. Do I need to wear my pants low? Do I need to wear a certain kind of shoe? Do I need a flat brim hat? Do I got to look like this guy? If I look like this guy, will I be respected? If I act like this man, will I be respected? No, you won't. You'll only be respected by true people, by real men and women, if you're being yourself, if you're being who you are. Don't be afraid to be who you are. I don't know how to tell y'all this. Everything's been stolen and raped and murdered from you, and you cling on to this culture. You cling on to this culture, the very culture. It ain't funny. It's sad. It's sad to me as a naturalist, as a pagan, whatever you want to fucking call me. I ain't got a label. I ain't got a label none of y'all can stick on me. And that's cool because I work hard at that. I work hard at being Bill Bunting. I like being me. I love me some Bill. I'm all right with myself. I've come to terms with everything I've done. I realized the lies that I've been told. I stepped away from them. I did the best I could. And I ain't nobody but your brother. I'm right here beside you. Here's one chance in life for you to look at a brother and say, hey, this man is standing beside me and walking with me because I'm talking to you. I can't talk to you if you're in front of me. I can't talk to you if you're behind me. I want you to think about some of these things. I never tell you what to do, but please think about your actions. Think about why you do what you do. I'm not asking you to denounce anything that you believe in your heart to be true. I'm just asking you to look at the facts of history, your own history that shows everything was stolen from you, and you're still considered a heathen. You're still considered less. You're still considered a minority. So where did Jesus save you on that one? Huh? Huh? It's big serious business, y'all, because this whole thing with the black man and the Native American man in America today, fighting for water, fighting for their rights, fighting for their place. If you're fighting for your place, then how can you cling on to the belief system that brought you here and enslaved you? The very government that's enslaving all of us. All the colors that you want to throw out there at me. But whatever. Be a brother, but be yourself. Be a sister, but know who you are. Don't let anybody steal from you ever again. You hear me? Don't let anybody ever steal from you again. Knowledge up. Knowledge is power. And you get knowledge through talking. And listen, it's through talking to our elders as well. Why aren't we talking to our elders more? I saw a thing where they had a bunch of old people sitting around a table with little foam sticks bouncing balloons around. They should be speaking to people about their lives and where they come from and the things that they've learned. Why aren't we talking to each other about things like this, the things that matter? Not why Jesus is real, but why you're not allowed to believe according to your own culture. Or have you accepted the American culture? Are you an American all the way, red, white, and blue? You got flag hanging out your ass. You say the Pledge of Allegiance when you wake up in the morning. You sing national anthem and say a prayer before dinner. No, you're not nationalists. You're human beings, or you wouldn't be on my fucking wall. Y'all got to think about some of this. Because the people that hate me the most are the people that hate truth. Because I step on the toes of lies all the time. But that's fine. I'm used to it. I don't expect y'all to go out there and bust out every lie and change every heart. But I hope that you strive to. Because that's being Christ-like. And I got no problem with people being Christ-like. It's just when you try to tell me that all this shit written down is for real, when it was written by a mad king that was losing control of the people. And it's only 400 years old. But no, man, it's just 2,000 years old. No, the false flag created by the Roman Empire 2,000 years ago about Jesus Christ as using him as a boogeyman. He was like the version of Bin Laden back then, was going to come in and get you and take away all your pagan beliefs, and all your gods and goddesses were going to disappear with this man. That's how they scared those people into control, into servitude, into voluntary slavery. Well, I'm going to tell you something. You're a slave right now, and that ain't no joke, but you're a voluntary slave. Let me say that one more time. You're a voluntary slave. You're a slave because you allow yourself to be a slave. In the age of the greatest amount of information ever given to mankind, I'm seeing the stupidest, dumbest people I've ever seen. And yeah, some of it's been done to you. The fluoride in the water, the poor food, the super poor education, the de-education is what I call it. Uneducation. Yeah, they make you dumber. So you got to fight that. Don't be blaming somebody. Oh, man, the government's making me stupid. Oh, man, the government's poisoning my water. Stand up against it. Hey, guess what? They poison my water, too. I barely got food. I got to grow my own food here and there. But during the wintertime, I got to eat some of this stuff. I'm governed. I was given the same education you was. I fought it. No, if it didn't seem real, I looked it up. Faith is something I don't have much of. I'm not going to believe in something I can't see. I'm a naturalist. I touch the ground. I see souls in trees. I believe in spirits out there. I see spirits out there. Let's put it that way. That most people don't see because you're not connected. Even my red blood. And my Cherokee brothers and sisters that are in North Carolina right now because of the casino that left Muskogee County to go to North Carolina, most of them's dead, and the rest of them are dying from alcohol poisoning. So once again, where the casino or the white man culture help you out at all? No, you're breaking my heart. You broke my heart when I was walking the Appalachian Trail. When I went to Cherokee, North Carolina. When I went to the reservation to see my friends from my past that I grew up with, I saw them destroyed. Matter of fact, what I saw most of and spent most of my time doing was visiting graves of men my age. Think about what I'm telling you. You can't salute a flag or believe in a God that hates you. Why are you doing that? That's the worst form of slavery. That's the fearful slave. You do everything out of fear. The happy slave does it because he's a fat hog and he gets fed every day. A fearful slave does it because he fears something. What do you fear? Death? Do you fear that boogeyman story? If you don't believe like them, you're going to burn in hell forever? I'd rather go in front. And if there was a judgment day, I'm gonna tell you something. If there was a judgment day, I got some questions of my own. All right, but the other thing is, if there is a judgment day, I would rather explain to the Creator right then. And why you put all these false men out there? You created them, and they told lies, and I didn't believe them. So if I can't believe this lie, then I'm not gonna believe that truth if it's coming from the same mouth. So I'd rather face my own judgment. That's personal anyway. That's personal to each and every one of y'all out there. So think about that today. Get real about some things. The black man and the red man, since we use color, and that's the only reason I'm saying it that way. The black man and the red man have no business worshiping Jesus or the American government. Both have done nothing for you but kill you and take your culture and your history away from you. And that's just the way it is. That's just the way it is. I didn't make it that way, but I'm going to point it out. I'm going to point it out to you and tell you the truth. You've been robbed. You've been robbed. And I hate it. So I'll give you back this little bit of knowledge, and I hope that you pick up on the rest of it. And I hope that you really research this with every bit of researching skills that you have. I hope that you can look in the mirror, black people, Indian people, white people, Mexican people, Asian people. I hope any people, any human beings, that you can look in the mirror and love yourself. Love yourself enough to start finding out who you really are, what it is that makes you who you are. Because I don't want some version of you, your American you. I don't want some version of your corporate you. I just want to know you, just like you are. You're all perfectly flawed to me. And I love that. I just love that. We're all perfectly flawed. But together, as a brotherhood, united, we are the power. When we drop these lies, when we drop these stereotypes, when we drop the things that keep us divided, like race, religion, and politics, when we drop them, when we unite, we can go back to living as we see fit for ourselves. Because I don't want to live like the Cherokee, and I don't want to live like anybody but the way I want to live life. I've lived with the Cherokee and I live with black folks. That's why I live the way I live today. That's why I'm comfortable living on this planet the way I live. Because I didn't take in just one culture and claim it to be mine. I am culture. I made my own culture, but it's for me. It's for me. You get that? You make your own culture, and it's for you. So think about it. I love y'all. I just want to empower you to be who you are, but quit clinging on to a system and a belief system that murdered you and called you heathens, and think that y'all are the devil. And then you turn around and say the white devil. Well, devil, devil, devil. Well, guess what? I got some news for y'all. There ain't no devil. There ain't no Satan. Man, hard talk, but I hope y'all got something out of this today. Because I love y'all, and I just really want the best for you, but I want you to be free. I want you to live free. And because you're going to die, I want you to die living. But you can't live in bonds. You can't live in chains. And I'm talking about the ones in your mind. They can chain your body and you can still be free. They can put you in a prison and you can still be free. The only true freedom is the freedom in your mind. And when they took away all these other parts of your mind that should be there, your culture, your history, who you are, where you came from, then you have nothing to replace it with but their bullshit. So in other words, there's a void in your life, isn't there? When you go to church and you pray, you feel like you're just going through the motions sometimes. And this is for the people that feel that. It's because it's false. It's not even a part of you or your culture. So think about that today. I love y'all. I'm going to get off here. Peace and research. Research so you don't live in fear. All right? I love every single one of y'all. Peace.